The Ministry of National Security is adding another tool to its arsenal to help in the fight against crime.
The latest effort is a new initiative called Violence Interrupters. It's made possible thanks to a $20 million loan from the Inter-American Development Bank.
Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage says crime and the fear of it is the number one issue facing the country. He says if steps can be taken to reduce it to an irreducible minimum, officials would have done a good job. With that in mind, the Ministry of National Security launched the Violence Interrupters Bahamas program yesterday with the aim of putting a dent in the scourge of crime through providing mentors for youth to steer them in the right direction.
Violent interrupters are expected to assist in communities in the prevention of retaliation, to develop non-violent approaches to conflict resolution, and I hope they will become champions in their communities of helping people, boys and girls, particularly the younger the better, how to resolve differences and conflicts with each other without the use of violence.
Dr. Nottage notes that crime has increased steadily since the year 2000. He pointed out there was a drop in murders in 2016 when compared to 2015, and even though there were 114 murders in 2016, that it's still too many. Despite this, he says the government has been working with law enforcement to break the back of crime, having added nearly 500 additional officers since 2012 and buying new vehicles which have allowed officers to increase patrols.
This has yielded success, including the seizure of more than 63,000 pounds of marijuana, 7,500 pounds of cocaine, 2,000 illegal firearms, and 41,000 rounds of ammunition.
The minister says the Bahamas does not make guns or ammunition, which makes those figures disturbing. He says criminals today are younger, have easier access to dangerous weapons, and moral values which are disappearing. Some of the reasons, he says, have been contributing to the rise in violent crime. He recalled the spate of murders 2 weeks ago, which saw 6 lives claimed.
It really had a strong negative impact on people in every community, whether it's a hotspot community or a suburban community. People are afraid of crime in our country, and we cannot permit that to continue.
Speaking to the recent announced crime fight initiatives, Nottage says Defense Force officers will join police on the streets as law enforcement agencies work jointly to get the homicide count down. The plan also calls for aggressive targeting of repeat offenders and surveillance in hotspots.
In our country, our per capita crime rate is high, far too high. And the thing about it is they're being committed by men and women just like you and I.
Nottage says the Violence Interrupters have a chance to make a real impact. Some 40 men and women have volunteered their services for the program. The National Security Minister says they are not police officers but ordinary citizens coming together to do extraordinary things.